Waterloo, couldn't escape if I wanted to. Ba-dum-bum-bum, Waterloo, finally facing my Waterloo. Whoa, 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 Waterloo. Ah.
Roll the credits. Look, I don't want to do any writing today. I feel like we've just been doing worksheet after worksheet after worksheet, and it's quite hard trying to motivate myself. Can we just do something a bit more hands-on today?
Well, do you know what? You're not alone, because we realise that out there, some of you may be struggling to find motivation to carry on with this. And do you know what? It might not look like it, probably does sometimes, but it might not look like it, but we're also finding it hard to do. Some days, it can be quite hard for us to get our heads up, come into the Learning Lockdown studio and produce these films for you, because we're all struggling. It's getting so samey, and it's just hard, isn't it? But we hear you, and we want to hear more from you. And we're going to give you a really fun maths lesson. And if you've got other ideas...
Well, I wouldn't promise it's going to be really fun, but it's not going to involve any, writing down on a worksheet.
Yeah.
If you've got any other ideas, send them in to us, and we'll endeavour to get them on this channel. And also, if you are struggling, tune into PSHE later, because there might be something there to lift your spirits, as they say. Yeah. Now, I've got here a book. Can you see that?
That's a good, but what's it called?
The Diaries of Robin's Toys. It's called Roger the Reindeer. He's not as famous as his brother. You might have heard of his brother.
Oh, Rudolph.
No, Simon. But anyway, I'm not going to use this as a book today. I'm going to use it as an angle checker. Now, if you were tuned into Monday and Tuesday's lessons, you will know that a corner of a book, most of the time, some books would be very unique if they didn't have this angle, but 99% of books, I would say, have a corner, and that corner measures exactly how many degrees, Mr. S?
90 degrees.
90 degrees, which is also known as a...
right angle.
Right angle. And you're going to use the corner of a book today, which you know is a right angle at 90 degrees, to go on a bit of an angle hunt for right angles, acute angles, and obtuse. Now, acute angles are...
smaller than 90 degrees.
Acute. And obtuse angles are...
bigger than 90 degrees, but less than 180 degrees. That's
less than a straight line. Very important. And that is what you're going to do today. You're going to go on a hunt around your house. So let's say we've collected a few objects here, and we're going to look to see if they are right angles, acute angles, or obtuse angles. Let's start nice and easy. Can you choose me an object from over there, Mr. S, that I can check?
The Professor's Dictionary.
Let's check the Professor's
Do you
Dictionary.
know where angles come from, by the way?
No, go on.
There's just a little island off the coast of North Wales.
Oh, Anglesey.
Anglesey, yeah.
So, you're going to choose a corner to measure, an angle to measure, and I'm going to choose this one. And what you do is you make sure, like when we're measuring angles, that you put one of the lines at the bottom, and this is the other line I'm measuring. And then with the corner of the book that you're using as your angle checker, you can line one of the edges up and then slide it so the corners meet.
Ooh.
Now here you can see perfectly that this corner, this angle, is also a right angle. So this one has a right angle. Let's place that down.
Well, this looks a bit like a rectangle to me.
Okay, let's try this one. So we're going to go for this angle here, this corner. So we've got a bottom line. Let's line that up with the bottom of our book. And we'll slide it along so the corners meet. Now, this can be a bit more difficult because the corner on the phone, you can see, is rounded. Well, ignore that and just use the other straight line as your reference. Now, here, we can see as well, even though that's rounded, that actually the two lines match up perfectly. So we have another right angle. That one's quite difficult because of the rounded edge. Technically, you could say it's not an angle, but we're just looking at the two straight lines.
We want to include them because there's lots of roundies out there.
Yeah, there's lots of corners that are going to be slightly rounded, but you should have two straight edges at least that meet. They might either meet at a perfect point or at a slightly rounded point today.
You can almost imagine that they meet just slightly after the rounded edge. It's almost like someone's gone around the edge, but it was a right angle before it got a trim.
Yes, it was a right angle or an angle of any type with a trim. Let's go on to something a bit more difficult.
Ooh.
Now, I'm not going to measure this angle.
Yeah,
I'm going to measure, let's go for this angle just here. Okay?
Yeah.
Really difficult.
I'll hold this for you, Amy.
Thank you very much. Now, I'm going to line up this bottom line with the bottom of my book. And I'm going to make sure the corners meet. Now, you can't see there because of the way around, but if we turn this around...
Yeah.
Then you can see
Hi, Roger.
that the side of my book, which is 90 degrees, comes out further than the angle of my folder. This one is slightly less, it's slightly smaller than 90 degrees because it doesn't come out all the way to meet the side of this book. The bottoms are all lined up, but not this side. So this is smaller than 90 degrees, so therefore this one is an acute angle. Let's place that into an acute angle pile, Mr. S.
Thank you.
You're going to keep that there?
Yep.
Okay. Now I'm going to go for this one. Now this has got all sorts of angles, but I'm going to try and measure this angle right here.
You'll be seeing this later on, by the way.
You will be if you tune in for PE. How can you use a water can in PE? Well, we're not going to tell you have to tune in.
It's just weed all over Mr. A.
Because it's a rounded edge and it hasn't got an exact pointy corner, it's a bit difficult, but for today we're letting it off. So let's line up. Thank you, Mr. S. This straight line that we've made nice and flat with the bottom of our book. We'll imagine that the corner comes a bit further out. You can imagine where those two corners would meet. We'll line up our book with the corner. And as you can see, as we turn this round, okay, this is lined up, but it doesn't come all the way out to meet our 90 degrees of our right angle. It's smaller. So this angle here is an acute. Now, it's really important to make sure you always have one of the lines lined up, because otherwise you're not measuring accurately. If I'm doing this, and I can't tell because neither of them are matching either side. So always get that flat one, that horizontal one, matching one of your lines, and then you can check to see if your other line meets the edge of your 90 degree checker. So that is another acute angle, please.
That was very, very clever.
Thank you. So that is it for today. Go and find an angle measurer using a book that we have, and go and find a variety of different angles around your house.
Thank you, Roger the reindeer. I actually know a joke about reindeer, so I'll share with you. What did Santa say to Mrs. Claus as he looked out the window?
It looks like reindeer.
No? You went, oh.